This new report doesn't just reveal which automakers are struggling. It completely exposes the truth behind why car prices are sky high, dealership lots are overflowing, and why American buyers are losing faith in their favorite brands. What's inside this report has sent shockwaves across Detroit, Silicon Valley, and even Wall Street. From reliability disasters to customer satisfaction collapses, this is the wake-up call the U.S. auto industry never saw coming. According to the shocking findings, Consumer Reports has unveiled a massive decline in reliability and owner satisfaction across several major automakers. And yes, it's the big American names taking the hardest hit. Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis have all seen their rankings plummet, while Toyota, Honda, and Hyundai continue to dominate in nearly every category: reliability, long-term value, and overall owner satisfaction. The report paints a grim picture. American consumers are paying more than ever before, but getting less dependability and more frustration. The biggest headline from this report is the widening gap between U.S. and foreign automakers. Consumer Reports ranked Japanese and Korean brands as the top performers in reliability, while domestic giants continue to slide. Toyota and Lexus once again took the crown for most dependable, while Honda, Subaru, and Hyundai held strong. Meanwhile, Ford's electric models were called out for persistent software bugs. GM's new EVs were cited for battery issues, and Stellantis brands, including Jeep and Chrysler, received some of the lowest satisfaction scores in the industry. Consumer Reports highlighted a growing distrust in domestic brands due to endless recalls, inconsistent build quality, and poor dealer service experiences. Owners complained about everything from malfunctioning infotainment systems to failing transmissions in brand new vehicles. It's not just about bad luck, it's about bad management, bad quality control, and an industry that seems out of touch with the reality of American consumers. And the numbers don't lie. Ford, GM, and Stellantis are in real trouble. Sales are dropping fast, especially in the segments they once dominated: pickup trucks and SUVs. Ford's F-150 inventory is piling up. GM's Silverado and Sierra are sitting unsold on lots across the country. Even Tesla, once the golden child of innovation, has seen its reliability rankings fall and demand cool off dramatically. Dealerships are now drowning in inventory. One headline summed it up perfectly: dealers are running out of parking space for unsold cars. This isn't a small dip. It's a market correction on the verge of turning into a full-blown crisis. Japanese and Korean automakers are quietly stealing market share, offering more reliable cars at better prices, while the American giants scramble to keep up with rising costs, slow production, and vanishing consumer confidence. And here's where things get even worse. Even with sales falling, car prices remain outrageously high. Consumer Reports found that new vehicle prices are up nearly 30% compared to pre-pandemic levels. Automakers have been hiking MSRPs year after year, trying to protect their profit margins while blaming inflation and supply chain issues. But consumers aren't buying that excuse anymore. People are walking into dealerships, seeing price tags of $50,000, $60,000, even $70,000 for regular SUVs, and walking right back out. The irony: Consumer Reports data shows that as prices rise, reliability is falling. Buyers are paying luxury-level prices for vehicles that spend more time in the shop than on the road. The average American feels cheated, stuck between sky-high costs and vehicles that can't deliver the quality they were promised. Even with incentives and rebates, people are saying enough is enough. And then there's the brutal financial reality. Interest rates are at their highest levels in over 2 decades, making car ownership almost unaffordable for millions. Consumer Reports highlighted that the average monthly car payment has now soared between $750 and $1,000 for many new vehicles, a historic high. Auto loan delinquencies are rising at a pace not seen since the 2008 financial crisis, as families struggle to keep up with payments. The report warns that the average American can no longer afford a new car. Think about that. At the world's biggest auto market, built on the promise of freedom and mobility, now has millions of people locked out of car ownership entirely. Financing a vehicle has become a luxury, not a necessity. And with interest rates showing no signs of dropping soon, this affordability crisis could crush the auto market in 2025 and beyond. Meanwhile, across the country, dealerships are facing a problem they never expected: too many cars. After years of shortages, the pendulum has swung the other way. Inventory levels are surging, lots are overflowing, and dealers are slashing prices to clear out stock. Reports show rows of unsold SUVs, trucks, and EVs just sitting in the sun, collecting dust. Even with huge discounts, cashback offers, and low-interest financing promotions, buyers still aren't biting. Consumer confidence is just too low, and people aren't willing to sign up for massive loans in a shaky economy. Many dealers have privately admitted that the situation feels eerily similar to the pre-2008 market. Lots full, buyers scarce, and manufacturers desperate. This oversupply isn't just a glitch, it's a warning that the industry could be heading toward another major correction. And right at the center of this storm, the electric vehicle market. Consumer reports didn't hold back here either. EVs, which were supposed to be the future of driving, are now facing serious reliability concerns. The report exposed a surge in owner complaints about software malfunctions, faulty batteries, and charging failures. Tesla, once hailed as the gold standard for innovation, slipped down the reliability rankings this year. Owners are reporting quality control problems, paint defects, and tech glitches that simply shouldn't happen in cars costing over $60,000. GM's Ultium rollout, once promised to revolutionize EVs, has been a disaster. Production delays, battery shortages, and software issues have plagued nearly every model. Ford's EV division is bleeding billions, losing more money than it's making on every electric vehicle sold. Even Stellantis' attempts to electrify Jeep and Ram are running into serious issues, from short battery range to manufacturing setbacks. Consumer reports highlighted that while EV technology continues to evolve, the industry's rush to electrify has created a new set of headaches for drivers. Charging infrastructure remains unreliable and inconsistent. Many owners face hours-long waits at broken or overcrowded charging stations. And when it comes to resale value, EVs are tanking faster than anyone expected. This chaos is making American consumers second-guess the EV transition entirely. People who were excited about going electric just a year ago are now looking back toward hybrids, or even sticking with older gas vehicles, simply because they're more predictable and affordable. The promise of a cleaner, simpler driving experience is being overshadowed by frustration, high costs, and a lack of trust. And that's the biggest takeaway from Consumer Reports' shocking announcement: the collapse of consumer trust. For decades, American car makers built their reputation on reliability, durability, and value. But today, that reputation is crumbling. The report shows brand loyalty is dropping to record lows. More and more Americans are switching to foreign automakers, or turning to used vehicles just to avoid the risk of owning something new and unreliable. People are tired of recalls, tired of unresponsive customer service, tired of paying luxury prices for vehicles that can't deliver. In surveys, a growing number of consumers say they no longer believe automakers are being honest about quality or pricing. Confidence in the U.S. auto industry's future is at one of its lowest points in history. Dealers are frustrated too. Many report that customers are walking in skeptical, asking about reliability scores, warranty claims, and resale value before even sitting in the driver's seat. It's no longer just about horsepower or technology. It's about trust, and that trust is fading fast. Consumer Reports even noted that many Americans feel betrayed by the automakers they once supported. The same brands that were symbols of pride, Chevrolet, Ford, Dodge, are now being viewed with doubt and disappointment. And unless something changes soon, this crisis of confidence could reshape the entire automotive landscape. The warning is clear: the U.S. auto industry can no longer rely on brand loyalty or past glory. It needs to rebuild, with honesty, affordability, and reliability at the forefront. Because right now, as Consumer Reports makes painfully clear, buyers aren't just questioning car quality. They're questioning whether the American dream of car ownership is even worth it anymore. Behind closed doors, automakers are panicking. The Consumer Reports announcement has sent shockwaves through boardrooms across Detroit. Executives at Ford, GM, and Stellantis are holding emergency meetings, trying to figure out how to spin the narrative. But the damage is already done. Investors are jittery, dealerships are frustrated, and the media is calling this one of the most damaging reliability reports in years. Ford, for instance, is reportedly under internal pressure to justify billions spent on EV development that still hasn't paid off. GM is facing growing scrutiny after promising a fully electric future, while failing to meet its own production targets. Stellantis, juggling multiple struggling brands under one roof, is now dealing with collapsing consumer confidence in Jeep and Chrysler, once strong names now seen as unreliable and overpriced. Even Tesla, despite its loyal fan base, isn't immune, with quality concerns piling up and competition from BYD, Hyundai, and Kia heating up. Tesla's dominance looks shakier than ever. Industry analysts say this Consumer Reports bombshell could accelerate an investor retreat from high-risk automakers, especially those with weak balance sheets and overstocked inventories. This is more than a bad PR cycle. It's a turning point. The U.S. auto industry is staring down a reckoning it can't ignore anymore. The message from consumers is loud and clear. Fix your cars, lower your prices, and start listening, or risk losing your customers for good. One major takeaway from the report is that automakers may have expanded too fast. In their rush to launch new EVs, SUVs, and luxury trims, quality control fell apart. Consumer Reports data revealed that models packed with advanced tech, touchscreens, driver assist systems, connected features, had the most issues. The more tech a car had, the less reliable it became. Experts are saying what many already suspect. Automakers have focused more on marketing innovation than building vehicles that actually work as advertised. Consumers are overwhelmed with recalls, software updates, and expensive repairs, often for features they never asked for in the first place. And this disconnect between automakers and their buyers is widening. Many Americans simply want dependable, affordable cars, not overloaded dashboards and glitchy software. But the industry seems obsessed with chasing profits through luxury trims and overcomplicated technology. Consumer Reports findings make one thing painfully obvious. Reliability is no longer a given. It's become a luxury. Adding fuel to the fire, the traditional dealership model is collapsing under pressure. Consumer Reports pointed out that buyers' trust in dealerships is at an all-time low. Hidden fees, markups, and pushy sales tactics have turned the car buying process into a nightmare. With prices soaring and financing brutal, more consumers are shopping online, even preferring direct-to-consumer models like Tesla or Carvana. But that's creating another problem. Dealerships are now stuck with massive inventories and fewer walk-in buyers. Some dealers are slashing prices by thousands just to move cars off the lot, but even that's not enough to spark demand. Many analysts believe the U.S. is entering a new era, one where the dealership model itself may not survive. The combination of declining trust, inflated prices, and shrinking profits is setting up a slow collapse of the old way of selling cars. And if Consumer Reports' message hits home, automakers may have no choice but to reinvent how they do business altogether. All signs point to a storm ahead. Inventory is up, prices are high, demand is falling. And now, Consumer Reports has confirmed what millions of Americans already feel. The auto market is broken. Analysts predict that 2025 could bring one of the biggest market corrections in decades. Automakers will be forced to slash prices, scale back production, and face painful restructuring. In fact, some dealers are already calling it the Great Reset. With more cars than customers and more debt than cash flow, the industry can't sustain this imbalance for long. Automakers are being forced to choose, either lower prices dramatically or face a collapse in sales volumes that could trigger layoffs, factory shutdowns, and financial losses on a massive scale. Consumer Reports may have just accelerated that timeline by shining a light on the industry's worst-kept secrets, unreliability, greed, and poor value. They've given consumers the confidence to push back. People aren't afraid to walk away anymore. And that's what truly terrifies automakers. One of the most striking parts of the Consumer Reports analysis is the timing. The auto industry rushed headfirst into the electric era, betting everything on EVs. But the infrastructure, affordability, and reliability simply weren't ready. Now, that gamble is starting to backfire. Consumer Reports revealed that while EV technology is advancing, it's still not living up to the promises made by automakers. Buyers expected seamless performance, fast charging, and low maintenance. But what they're getting are long charge times, malfunctioning systems, and repair bills that rival luxury gas cars. Many early adopters are now warning others to wait, saying the EV revolution feels more like a beta test. And while automakers try to spin their way out of this, the truth is clear. They've pushed too much too fast. Ford's EV division has already lost over $4.5 billion this year alone. GM has postponed multiple EV launches. Even Tesla has had to cut prices repeatedly just to keep demand alive. The Consumer Reports bombshell is essentially a wake-up call. The EV dream needs to slow down and get realistic. Americans want EVs that are affordable, dependable, and easy to charge, not vehicles that require apps, updates, and hours at a charger. Until that happens, the EV market could become one of the biggest money pits in auto history. And that frustration is now turning into action. Across the country, consumers are pushing back, delaying purchases, canceling orders, and even organizing online to call out overpriced, underperforming vehicles. Forums, social media groups, and YouTube reviewers are all echoing the same sentiment. The value just isn't there anymore. People are holding onto their cars longer than ever before. The average vehicle on US roads is now over 12 years old. The highest in history, that's not a coincidence. It's a direct reflection of how buyers feel. They don't trust the new models enough to replace what they already have. And when consumers stop buying new cars, the entire system feels it. From automakers to suppliers to local dealers. Consumer Reports findings have added fuel to that fire, giving hard evidence to what drivers have been feeling for years. This isn't just a slump. It's a rejection of how the industry operates. While US automakers scramble, their foreign rivals are quietly capitalizing on the chaos. Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, and Kia have built reputations for reliability and value, and they're seeing the payoff. Consumer Reports ranked these brands among the top performers in nearly every category, and American buyers are noticing. Toyota's hybrid lineup continues to dominate, offering better fuel economy and lower maintenance than most EVs. Hyundai and Kia are stepping in with feature-packed vehicles that undercut US competitors by thousands of dollars. Even Mazda and Subaru, often overlooked, are winning new customers with consistent quality and simplicity. Foreign automakers didn't just build cars, they built trust. And right now, that's worth more than any ad campaign or rebate. As Consumer Reports makes clear, the US market is shifting, and the winners will be the brands that can deliver real reliability, not empty promises. Every few years, Consumer Reports shakes the auto industry with data that can't be ignored. But this time, it's different. The combination of high prices, low reliability, and collapsing trust has created the perfect storm. This report is being called the canary in the coal mine for a potential auto collapse. When consumers start losing faith across multiple brands simultaneously, it's not just a PR issue, it's systemic failure. The American auto industry, once the pride of the nation, is being outperformed on its own turf. Industry insiders are warning that if companies don't course-correct fast, 2025 could mark the beginning of widespread layoffs, production cuts, and even bankruptcies. The days of coasting on brand loyalty are over. Consumers want transparency, durability, and fair prices. And they're no longer afraid to walk away until they get it. So, where does the US car market go from here? Consumer Reports has drawn a line in the sand. Automakers can no longer ignore the disconnect between what they're selling and what people actually want. Experts say the next 12 to 18 months will be crucial. We'll likely see more aggressive price cuts, production slowdowns, and even restructuring plans as companies fight to survive. EV strategies will shift. Expect to see a renewed focus on hybrids and plug-in models as full EV demand plateaus. And dealerships? Many will have to reinvent themselves entirely, focusing more on transparency, online sales, and customer trust instead of pressure tactics. But one thing is clear: the American auto industry is at a crossroads. Either it listens to what consumer reports and millions of drivers are saying, or it risks a collapse that could redefine the industry forever. This isn't just about cars anymore. It's about what those cars represent. For decades, owning a vehicle symbolized freedom, opportunity, and stability. But now, Consumer Reports' findings reveal a hard truth. That dream is slipping away for millions of Americans. With prices soaring, interest rates crushing buyers, and reliability falling apart, car ownership has transformed from a symbol of independence into a financial burden. Families are forced to extend loans to 84 months or more just to afford vehicles that used to be considered basic transportation. The once proud Buy American sentiment is being replaced by resentment. Resentment toward companies that seem more focused on quarterly profits than on the customers who built them. And it's not just new buyers who are struggling. Used car prices, once expected to normalize post-pandemic, remain stubbornly high due to limited supply and inflated financing rates.